Did you know that our government can turn stuff like this into bullets? Because once a law is passed, government overreach is a very real possibility. I'm here to show you that they can and they will. So I seen this video and it reminded me of something.
What's going on here? What's going on? Look at this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
It's hard to hear, but in the background you can hear her yelling about how the ostriches could be saving these officers or saving us in the future. And it's quite clear that it's going nowhere and was never going to. This was Mama while her babies were still alive.
Today is all about ostrich eggs. One ostrich egg weighs an average of 3 to 4 pounds per egg. Imagine how many antibodies are in this one egg. These antibodies have been naturally brought here this year, no injections, nothing. Naturally brought here by the ducks, and they were really good to bring H5N1. So our birds are carrying H5N1 antibodies.
Hold on a sec. If those birds got sick from wild ducks that came out to their farm, what would be the point of wiping out all of the ostriches on that farm in the middle of nowhere? And if that's the case, why isn't the CFIA traveling across Canada wiping out all the ducks? Not to mention, these birds had the flu like 8 months ago and since then are 100% healthy. They wiped out all of these birds without doing one single test to see if there's any signs of bird flu.
The hen in 4 weeks produces antibodies, and she puts those in her eggs so that the offspring will carry them. These animals are crazily, amazingly, they lived on the earth for millions of years, and a lot of that is because it's all because of these beautiful eggs and what they hold. But what do they hold? They hold an absolute natural cure for H5N1. We could take antibodies out of this egg and put it in a nasal spray because H5N1 is aromatic, and we could actually create a treatment that is natural. So if you go get sick and you go to the hospital and you could possibly die, guess what? You can have a shot of natural antibodies. Wouldn't that be amazing? With a nasal spray, not a needle, a nasal spray. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Just think, if they put these antibodies into a nasal spray and sprayed a whole flock of chickens inside a building, I wonder what would happen.
These are all in quarantine right now. They're stuck in a barn. They're not allowed out until we can get them through the courts out to be able to help people. So that's another reason we're fighting, is to be able to use these amazing antibodies to help people, to help the world. That's what this is all about, you guys.
Okay, the sound on this part's pretty bad in the background. Hang in there. It's definitely worth it.
Because these birds were infected by the wild birds, they got the full-blown disease. Not an antigen, they got the full-blown disease. I guarantee you that the antibodies they're producing are probably the strongest in the world.
He said that those antibodies were probably the strongest in the world.
The virus can go through any mask built, but when you put the center layer of the mask, coat it with antibodies, the virus can't get past the antibodies. So it makes the filters effective. We could be putting these antibodies and filters for all the poultry barn, and it would stop the virus from getting into the poultry barn. Our lab said, hey, we can build an antigen that will produce antibodies that will nullify all of the variants for Omicron. You got your virus, the variants happen around the outside, so big pharma's been chasing it. The antibodies that we designed goes in through the stem into basically the heart, gets the whole virus. Thank you, Dave.
Love you, Dave.
When the CFIA was here, they asked, well, how do we know that you produced any research or any products from antibodies? So I told him the story. He says, oh, where do you store? And CFIA had all of our information. We offered to work with CFIA and the Canadian government right at the start. Gave them our business plan, showed them what we were doing. Big mistake. But anyway, so we're out there, and they said, where do you store them? Oh, in the basement, in freezers in the basement. We're coming for them too. Nothing, absolutely nothing to do with H5N1. Right now, when they're here, nobody's wearing PPE. They all know there's not a problem. They just want to kill the science. The lab we were working with said that we're working on developing antibodies that will counteract and neutralize any variant that comes along with COVID-19. So we went for that, produced the antibodies in the eggs. The first 44 cases of Omicron in BC, 37 of them were double vaccinated, which meant that the vaccines didn't work. same ratio as vaccinated and unvaccinated. And all of a sudden, Omicron wasn't important anymore because Pfizer and Moderna, big pharma, didn't have a solution. What happened to us? We'd sent the antibodies to the lab, phoned us up and said, hey, you hit the jackpot. You neutralize Omicron. And so we're on cloud 9, 10, whatever. So we're making plans to get it into therapeutic and help the population.
Oh, so they had a cure for COVID-19 too?
Didn't hear from the lab for 2 weeks. They phoned us and said, hey, we got a problem. Got bad news. He said, we've been bought out. Your program is shut down. And we're under non-disclosure. What do? Don't have the cash to fight Big Pharma for sure. After they received a $13 million grant from the federal government to study COVID.
You see, I think they killed these birds because we might catch on to something else. They have been killing millions of chickens across Canada. And there's another way to do this. I don't think they want it out because they might lose their job. You see, once you have workers working doing something, they like to keep doing it, especially when they're making money. Not to mention, whatever these guys are doing fits right into the World Economic Forum's agenda. You see, there's another way of dealing with this avian flu that I don't think they want us to know about. And it makes a lot more sense than what they're doing right now. This is JFK.
The question is, should you cull those flocks? Most of our scientists are against the culling operation. They think that we should be testing therapeutics on those flocks. They should isolate them. You should let the disease go through them and identify the birds that survive, which are the birds that probably have a genetic inclination for immunity. And those should be the birds that we breed like the wild population. Right now, the White House strategy is to repopulate those farms that have been depopulated. We've killed 166 million chickens. Wow. That's why we have an egg crisis. The disease is not passed through food. Oh, you cannot get it. As far as we know, you cannot get it from an egg or milk or meat from an infected animal. The White House strategy now that we should armor the domestic populations so that to insulate them from wild infiltration.
This is some of the things that a conservative government is doing in the US right now to fix some of these problems.
As you can see, the price was pretty static for 40 years, 50 years actually, and then all of a sudden under Obama it went up a little bit, Trump went down, and then Biden, it has skyrocketed. Policy matters. So the egg prices we're seeing now was a long roll of overregulation, too many rules, too much government. So that's part of this plan as well. First, we're going to invest from USDA a significant amount of funds into biosecurity. That means the spread of the virus only happens through wildfowl for the most part. So what can we do at USDA to help our farmers ensure that that doesn't happen? We've had 150 pilot projects. Only one of those has gotten the avian flu. So now we put that on steroids and spread it out to America.
That kind of sounds like they want to use herd immunity going forward, keeping the chickens that got avian flu alive, breeding them going forward, as well as using the antibodies that they get from the surviving chickens. Kind of like Universal Ostrich Farms was trying to tell our government.
We go through some significant repopulation, ensuring that the farmers that had to depopulate, which is what Kevin Hassett was just talking about, that they have what they need to immediately repopulate, immediately start getting the hens laying again. The egg industry is over-regulated. They have too many rules on the books. And so while we will always focus on safety, we're also going to look at the Biden and Obama eras of putting more and more government on them. Can't just play whack-a-mole all the time, right? You got to think about strategically, how do we fix this for America for 5 years or 50 years? We're investing a lot of money into vaccine and therapeutic research to see if there is an answer to this right away. American poultry farmers have relief coming right around the corner.
If the CFIA was so worried about the contamination and the spread of this virus that they had to wipe out all of these ostriches with bullets, why did they leave them like this? It seems to me that the wild birds would have access to all these dead bodies. That raises the question of why shoot them all? Why use 900 rounds of bullets to shoot all these birds? And the only answer that I can come up with is the fact that they wanted to wipe them out fast before anybody could help them. Get the job done, they win, go home, with no regard for Canadians and the farm owners of these ostriches. A strange thing happened when I was shooting my first video. I was testing my microphone to make sure it was working, and I happened to notice a feather falling from my ceiling behind me. I'm the only one here recording. It's the strangest thing. I slowed the video down so you can see it right after this. I can't I can't explain it.
If you turn your phone sideways, it'll make the video bigger and you can see the feather more clear. I also looked around after I noticed that the feather was falling in this picture, and I could not find that feather anywhere.
Anyway, just something interesting. Let me know what you think.